Hello there YouTube, and welcome along to this TV review that I've decided to do for you guys today in this YouTube video. So in this YouTube video I'm going to be discussing about the TV show The Walking Dead. Now I'm not just talking about the main Walking Dead series, no, I'm talking about The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and The Walking Dead World Beyond. Now, I'm just going to put it out there now that if you guys do want to give all three of these shows a watch, then it is available for you guys to watch right now on Amazon Prime Video over here in the UK at the time of recording this video. So let me talk to you. I'm going to talk to you first about The Walking Dead because obviously that is the main show. That's what kicked off Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead World Beyond. So obviously it's obvious that we've got to start talking in this video by talking about The Walking Dead. So The Walking Dead, I mean, at first it kind of follows this police officer sheriff called Rick Grimes, and we kind of get to see, well, we kind of get a bit of dialogue really as to what life is like for Rick Grimes just before the apocalypse hits. Obviously we see him sitting in the police car at the very beginning of the show. In the very first episode of The Walking Dead, we see him sitting in the police car talking to his best mate and his police co-worker Shane about some of the problems that he now faces with his wife Laurie. Obviously they had an argument and their son Carl heard the argument before heading off to school one morning. So that's how the story sets up really to begin with. And then obviously we then see that there's a bit of a police chase, and then there's these guys that decide to attack the police with their weapons because they're armed with guns. And obviously then we see Rick Grimes getting shot. Now the next scene we see is Rick Grimes in hospital. He's in and out of consciousness. He can see Shane visiting him in the hospital, bringing him some flowers as well. And then after that we then cut to the next scene where the hospital room is completely empty. And then after that, we then see Rick Grimes getting out of bed. He then decides to give his face a little bit of a wash. And then after that, he then starts wandering out into the corridors. And he notices that the corridors are empty. There's no hospital staff there. There's no patients there. And as he continues walking through the empty corridors, he then sees there's all these dead bodies laying on the floor. So at first, obviously, he's just woken up from a coma. He doesn't quite understand what's going on or what's happened while he's been in this coma. And then after that, we then get to obviously him basically he then just stays he then manages to escape the hospital. He rides on a bike, and there is, obviously he then sees that he actually goes back to his house and finds that his walls are empty. All his family photos are gone, and the photo albums and clothes and stuff like that, they're all gone. And then as he goes outside into the front yard, he then gets hit over the head by a spade by this guy Morgan's son called Dwayne. And from there, obviously, we then see throughout that episode, we obviously then see this bond that Morgan builds with Rick. You know, and obviously they do end up parting ways. And then obviously Rick, for a little while in that episode, then goes off on his own, and you know, he then tries to find his way around, maybe try and find some survivors out there. And luckily, at the very end of the episode, there is someone that actually ends up talking to him via a radio, who, you know, which does show signs that there is more survivors out there for Rick to follow. So obviously I'm not going to go through every single episode, because we'll be here for ages and ages and ages, and I don't think you guys want to hear me ramble on about The Walking Dead. But the moral of the story is obviously from that first episode onwards, we then see Rick Grimes build up this massive group of people, you know, and then obviously as the series goes on, as the seasons go on, we then see that obviously they then have this massive group. Obviously throughout the series, unfortunately, we do lose some regular characters, you know, and they're characters that we know and love, or we get used to, for that matter, as well. So it is a little bit upsetting and heartbreaking to see some of these characters leave the show. The one thing that I will say that I really did enjoy seeing play out on screen is the storyline with the governor, who's played by David Morrissey in the show. I tell you what, I mean, I've only really seen David Morrissey in Doctor Who, when he pretended to be the Doctor in an episode that featured David Tennant's Doctor. So I've only seen him act in that, but other than that, seeing him act in The Walking Dead, he actually does play a fantastic villain. He really does, and I absolutely love the way that he portrays the governor in the series. I really, really do. So it is fantastic. It is a fantastic show to watch, definitely. Obviously later on in the show you then come across Negan, who happens to be this real bad guy with this barbed wired baseball bat, and he does do some really crucial deaths. Yeah, he really does some proper carnage deaths. I mean, look at Abraham and look at Glenn as well. They were probably the most gruesome deaths that you could ever see happen in The Walking Dead, to be honest. So yeah, so there is that as well. But other than that, really, I do quite enjoy this series. The only thing I did not like about this series is the fact that they brought in a tiger. I mean, that ruined it. That did ruin it, I'm not gonna lie. And I was so grateful when that tiger did get eaten by walkers, as they're known as in the show, by the way. I'm not talking about the packet of crisps. No, I'm not talking about the packet of crisp walkers. No, I'm talking about walkers from The Walking Dead, okay? Just putting it out there right now, because that's what they're known as, zombies. They're known as walkers. But yeah, but as I was saying, I was so glad that when the walkers came along, obviously the tiger, I can't remember his name now, it's been a while since I did watch it, admittedly, but the tiger in the show was literally going to try and fend off these walkers, but failed miserably. And so he got eaten alive by these walkers. And yeah, basically, I weren't sad. I did not shed a tear or anything when that tiger died. I was glad that tiger died. You know, not that I'm all for animal cruelty or anything like that. No. It's just the fact that, you know, I didn't like the fact that they included a tiger in the show. I just thought it was pointless. You know, I really did think it was pointless. So yeah, so that's what I didn't like about it, really. I think that was the main thing that I didn't like, really. And then obviously in season 8 of The Walking Dead, you then see that that Rick and Negan go and do an all-out war together. So, but I think in the end, though, I mean, obviously, I am going to put it out there. In the end, you do see that Rick kind of regrets what he does, the action he takes, and so he asks people to kind of help Negan out of what could potentially be a grave situation, I guess you could say. Which is, yeah, so, and in the end, I think that's quite nice that they kind of called a truce on their war, really. So, that was quite nice. And then in season 9, we then saw the dramatic exit of Rick Grimes. Now, I can safely say that Rick Grimes does not get killed off in The Walking Dead. He gets taken away in a helicopter to safety and to be fixed up again, because he does bleed out in the show. In his final episode, he does bleed out. And basically, obviously, he does get help and medical attention. And so, from there, we don't see Rick Grimes anymore. Now, we will see Rick Grimes again, I can promise you that, because there is going to be a trilogy of Walking Dead Rick Grimes movies. So Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick Grimes in the show, is going to be returning as Rick Grimes on the big screen, but we're not too sure at the moment when those movies are going to be will start showing in cinemas, etc, etc. I do believe, from what I've heard recently, that the Rick Grimes movies will start shooting in spring. That's all I've heard so far, okay? So, obviously, as soon as I get any more updates, then I will, of course, inform you guys on that. So that's The Walking Dead, okay? The other two shows are kind of prequels to the main show. So you've got, like, this Walking Dead universe going on right now, because you've got The Walking Dead, the main Walking Dead series. Then you've got Fear the Walking Dead. Now, with Fear the Walking Dead, it is a sign. So basically, this is the overview of the show, okay? So it says, a sign of the apocalypse has begun. Reports of a rapidly changing world for unknown reasons underscore this gritty drama, a prequel to AMC's uber popular Walking Dead. The story is told through the lens of high school guidance counsellor Madison Clark. The widowed mother is raising 2 children single-handedly and maintains a relationship with English teacher Travis Manoa, her apocalyptic partner. The challenge of blending their families is extirpated by unforeseen chaos, and a necessary survival of the fittest takes hold as well. Now, what I could also add here as well is the fact that you've got these characters like Alicia Clark, Victor Strand as well. You've also got Madison Clark, and you've got Morgan as well. Now, Morgan obviously is one of the series regulars, so he appears throughout the Walking Dead series. So obviously we do see him on and off screen, but I think he does take a more prominent role in like season 8 and season 9 of The Walking Dead as well. So but yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't really, I mean, obviously you do see the walkers and stuff like that in The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, sorry. But for me, I would probably say that Fear the Walking Dead isn't as fantastic as the main Walking Dead series. And also as well, what I'd also say is, with The Walking Dead, the walkers in that series look really, really realistic. The walkers in Fear the Walking Dead don't really look that realistic, you know? They really don't. They really don't have that scary look to them. And I feel like as well, with Fear the Walking Dead, you don't get as many walkers in that as you do as the main series. Understandably, I can see why, given the fact that obviously the apocalypse has only just begun in this prequel series. But yeah, I just really, yeah, I mean, I stuck with the series, admittedly. I really have stuck with it, but I really didn't like it. I really didn't like it. But going on to The Walking Dead World Beyond. Now, this is a series that I believe has only been shown on Amazon Prime Video, okay? So you can only watch it through Prime Video. I know that at the moment they've only got one season. I know that later in 2021 they're going to have another second season to go with that as well. So I do think I may watch the second season of The Walking Dead World Beyond, because I feel like with the first season I didn't quite understand it too much. I really didn't, but I'll give you the overview of it. So a group of teenagers sheltered from the dangers of the post-apocalyptic world receive a message that inspires them to leave the safety of the only home they have ever known and embark on a cross-country journey to save their father. So that's really what the series is all about. And like I say, there is a second series, and it is actually, believe it or not, the last series that they're planning to do. So they've only ordered 2 seasons of this, and that's it. So yeah, so really I don't think that The Walking Dead World Beyond is really going to take off neither, to be honest, that well. If it's only going to be lasting 2 seasons, unless that's really what they had originally had in mind, is just 2 seasons for this show, and that's pretty much it. So really I can't say much about The Walking Dead World Beyond. Maybe later this year I can give you a full review of The Walking Dead World Beyond, maybe, because obviously I've watched the second series, and I could give you maybe the full review of the entire series as a whole. But from the first season, I mean, obviously, like the overview I just gave you, they're just looking for their father. But yeah, I mean, that's really all that I could give to you really on that matter. So yeah, but again, I think out of all 3 Walking Dead series, I think I do prefer the main Walking Dead series. I don't know if anyone else out there does agree with me. Maybe they don't like the prequels. I mean, I really don't. So obviously I stuck by it. Like I said, you know, I stuck by it with Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead World Beyond. But I don't think it would be a show that I would go back and watch again. The Walking Dead, on the other hand, I think it is something that I would definitely go back and watch, because all throughout it made me hooked to the series. Like, I couldn't stop watching it, and that's something that I really did enjoy about The Walking Dead. So there we go. So that's my review anyway on The Walking Dead universe. That's The Walking Dead, the main show, The Walking Dead World Beyond, and Fear the Walking Dead as well. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. So smash that like button. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on the Walking Dead universe, regardless of whether that is The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and The Walking Dead World Beyond as well. I'd love to know your opinions on that. And if you are brand new to my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. That would always be much, much appreciated. But from me, though, is goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next YouTube video.